Alright, let's go ahead and process a photo for laser engraving with the software Laser DaSH IT version 1.2. We'll go ahead and open an image first here. And I think we'll do this, try this gorilla out here. Alright, so this image starting with is pretty dang clean to start with, so we don't have to press pixel restoration. So we will go ahead and just jump to pre-process, and we're not going to remove the background either. So this is where we're at right here. Go ahead and pre-process, and when it'll update on this side of the screen, and it will also update the meter to 100% when it's complete, and the button here will also turn back to green. Okay, it is now complete. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to use step 4, Laser DaSH IT processing. And we're going to enter, I'm going to use a 6x6 white tile and I'm going to paint it black. So I'm just going to make it 5.5 inches tall. Actually, let's just make it like 5.8, close to 6. DPI, let's make it 353, and I'm using, I'll probably use a 1.5 inch lens. That's what I have in there now. No sense of changing it. I could increase the DPI, but we'll just keep it simple for now. Go ahead. You don't have to enter a dimension for width. You just need one for either height, and right now I'm going to use height, so keep the opposite one blank. Go ahead and press step 4. And if you ever want to undo a step, I just added this button here. I was originally going to have it just undo step 4, but it'll undo other functions as well. So I'll name it undo or something. But if I want, after this is done, if I wanted to go back and do something else, I would just go ahead and undo. Well, not. I'll rename the button to undo. So right now it's undo step 4. So we'll call it that. Alright, once this is done processing, it'll update here. And it will be a zoomed in view. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll zoom out the image on this side after it's done processing. And then however it appears when it's about this zoom level here is just about exactly how it will appear on the tile, down to the exact colors and all. When you do it right, when you have a calibrated machine and it's working for you and you burn this thing perfectly, it's gonna look like this. Not as the original. On this side, after this function is done here, after we zoom out, I'll show you how it will appear on a tile. Or anything that, is black to white, slate, canvas if you paint it black, anodized aluminum, black acrylic, clear acrylic painted black, clear acrylic, white acrylic painted black, raw glass, glass painted black, and so on. On wood, it'll look realistic, but it's not going to, the colors aren't going to match because the wood give you these true blacks here. It'll be up to the species on how black it gives you. Okay, so now this was the detail level. So everything your laser is burning, every little mark on the tile, everything, it will all be there. If it's missing anything, it's not going to look good because every little detail is what makes up this result. So when you burn all of the detail and you have it all and your machine's calibrated, your painting is consistent, this is going to be your result. If you're not getting this result, like if I sent you this image right here, this processed image after we save it, and you also burn it on a tile, the difference in results from my result to your result is going to be down to the calibration of the machine, which is something that is my standards of calibration that is away from what the herd's doing. So if you want to learn about all of the rest of that, then when you do the rest of this combination and the combination of having an actual calibrated and working machine is going to start giving you really good results. Not that you can't get an awesome result when your machine's somewhat calibrated, but there's just a whole other level of understanding that nobody knows until they come to class, and then you find out. And there's quite a few key takeaways from class as well, and we're not going to sit here and process photos all day like this. This is the easy part. This is the part that should always just be golden and you get the results. If you're not getting the results, like I said, it's a lot on that machine end and how you're operating it, the methods, and all of its calibration points. So let's put the chit chat here and go ahead and save this. It has a background, but it doesn't have a background because it's solid black. So it really doesn't matter if I hit yes here, and then it would save a black square around it. But if I removed the background of this, then I would want to hit no. And then it's gonna, we'll save it something there. It's gonna ask if you want to save image with transparency. And if you remove the background here, you would press yes. That way, but we didn't remove the background. So anyways, if we did it in the LightBurn, it wouldn't have a black box or a box around the edge of the photo. I just did this one. I just uploaded the results on Facebook. I'll get it on YouTube here shortly. But I also just processed that one same way, same DPI inside Laser DaSH IT, and I'll upload that result to YouTube. It's already on Facebook though, over in my group, the original Do With Laser. So we'll go ahead and find this image here. It's going to be over here. Here it is here. My computer's slow because I'm making a screen recording, so it lags. I'm just going to go ahead and open because it's the one we want. Alright, so this zoom level here, this is how it should look on the tile. Colors and all. It should look just like this when you do it perfectly. When you zoom in, this is the detail that makes up the photo that gives you this image after your laser burns it. Let me go ahead and grab my USB drive. Oh, let me show you one thing here. Let me go back over to Laser DaSH IT here, and I'm going to show you guys this. This is a self-learning settings suggester. So you'll come over here, you'll select the wattage of your machine. Now let's say you have a 30 or a 20 watt or a diode. It doesn't really know if you're telling the truth if you select, like I could select 40 watt, and as long as I know it's actually 100 watt, I mean it's going to learn the same. It's going to, you know what I mean? It's going to learn whatever you give it after this. So if you have a diode, I suppose just select 40 watt. In the next update, I'm going to have diode fiber CO₂, so it can start tracking and learning and interpolating the data points between all the different types of machines. So mine's 100 watt. If yours isn't on the list, just select one and just remember that you made this one. It thinks it's a 20 watt. Okay. I will get more wattages and materials in the future update. My lens is going to be at 1.5. Our size was 5.8, and it's a square image, so it's going to be 5.8 also. And then DPI was 353. Now I'm going to analyze this image. And when I do this, it's going to analyze multiple things, details, aspects of this photo. The average brightness and the average contrast. And then it's going to save these data points here about this image into a database that's built into your software. It's not a database that's connected to the internet or anything. It's just a simple file where it stores all of these data points, and then it's kind of like a memory, so it can go back and say, this one was that one, this one was that one, this one was that setting, right? So now I'm going to go back to the Settings Suggestor that we had open. We have painted tile selected, and we analyzed the image. Now we're going to calculate. This is the suggested speed and power for the job. Okay. Now, let's say as I'm burning this, and I use these settings, which you should, okay, start out using these settings. And if it's not giving you this photorealistic result, then go ahead and manipulate your settings on your machine until you get this result, and then come back here. So I'm going to go burn this with this setting, and then if I change it, whatever I leave off where I think is perfect, I'm going to come back here, and then I'm going to enter the speed, which I'm not going to change the speed. I always just keep it the same. Maybe I'll slow down, maybe, because when you slow down, it gets more accurate and has more time to burn all of these fine details. But the power here, you're going to come back and enter your power, and then hit submit feedback. It'll say thank you. It'll go ahead and update your database file with the correction. And then the more photos you do on this thing, and the more materials you do, it's going to learn everything about your machine. The lens, also the lens, wattages, materials. Okay, so start using this, especially like if you're new or you're writing down settings. Like, this is going to do all of that for you, except you're not going to be able to go, well, I can show you guys where this file is stored, and you can go and view all of your saved data points. It's going to be this one. Now here's all of the data points. See, 100 watt, 1.5 inch painted tile selected, 5 inch by 5 inch photo, 363 dpi. The suggested was 180 at 14 point. This was the average brightness, contrast, speed, power, brightness, contrast. These are all for 5x5 with 365 dpi. All of these ones that were 5x5 and 363 dpi. Then we got 100 watt, 1.5 painted tile, 3.5 inch by 5, but 363 dpi. So it's not quite as wide as it is tall, and that matters because there's heat concentration and dissipation and whatnot. And then, you know, average brightness, speed, power, and this is what it ended up being, 180 and 14.7. And here's all these at this size and dpi. And then 3.66 by 5, 363 dpi. 3.93, 5.7 by 5.7. Now we're on to wood, 18. Okay, so you guys understand how that's working now. So that's what it makes, and then it's going to be able to go and interpolate between all those data points, and it's actually learning you and your machine. So let's go ahead and I shouldn't have closed that. Let's open that back up again, just in case we gotta correct it. Mine is pretty accurate from my machine, so I don't have to deviate very often because it's already learned a lot from me. Okay, so now we'll go over to LightBurn. Now, the most important thing in LightBurn is go into your layer settings. Always activate pass-through mode. Always. Always, always, always. And this is going to go on a white tile painted black. The laser is going to make white. So if you pulse your laser on a white tile painted black, it's going to reveal white. So that's telling you you need to burn the whites of the photo, which is a negative. So on, sure, I could invert this in Laser DaSH IT, but I just always keep it all positive in there. And I do all my inverting right here just so my flow and operation is the same. So, you know, then I can easily go back and figure out what I did wrong if something messes up, and I'm not going through 10 million different loops instead of, you know, an ordered process of elimination. Speed, power, let me put in my USB drive because I don't have this hooked up to that machine. I got it, the USB cable. I'll just give it something. Okay. Now I'm going to go burn this, and I'll take a video and combine the two videos afterwards.